Hey guys, and welcome to the Arzin channel, and today we're having another unboxing, but this time it is the Much W1 or the 78p. So let's get right into this. It's a handheld that runs Android, and since that it runs Android, it should have Wi-Fi and touchscreen and stuff like that, so you can easily get your ROMs to run on it. Let me get this sticker off. And here you have the handheld right in front of us. It has a screen protector, as I can see, but it is applied quite well, so I'm not going to take it off. It's kind of hard to open. Paperwork. It's all in Chinese, so yeah, apparently this is not made for the Western market. But I think Android is quite straightforward, and this is easy to deal with. That's nice. The Much emblem is right here, and there you have the power brick. Power brick is a USA type power brick. Here you have the micro USB cable. Now, as you can see, right off the bat, this handle looks a lot like a PSP with two analog sticks. It even has the buttons completely copied as far as I can see. And yeah, that would be nice for PSP gaming, in my opinion. And the handheld is very sleek and slim, and it doesn't feel bad in my hands like this. It has a camera on the back. This is an 8 megapixel camera with a flash. And we have a single mono speaker here. On the top of the handheld, we have the audio jack, a micro USB port, the power button. Here you have the L and R buttons as well. On the bottom, we have the volume rocker. And on the sides, we don't have anything. So interestingly enough, this handheld has quite a lot of buttons, but still it doesn't have L2 and R2 and not L3 and R3, so you cannot press on the analog sticks. It would have been nice if we could do that, because we could stream from Steam and stuff like that from the PC and play some PS1 games that need L2 and R2, but yeah, that's what we have. So let's test the buttons out. First things first, as you can see, the PlayStation-like buttons are membrane buttons. They're quite clicky. And the D-pad is circular, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if that will affect gameplay in any way, but we'll have to see. The analog sticks kind of resemble 3DS analog sticks, but are a little bit more narrow. Might be a little on the slippery side, even though it's made out of a grippy texture a little bit. They have tried on that one. We have the home button. We have the back button, the same membrane buttons. And we have start and select in quite an awkward position, but it looks very stylish. Here you have the L and R buttons. They look exactly like the PSP ones, and they feel the same as well. You can open the back of the handheld, so let's do that and check out what's inside and if you can put the SD cards in there or not. Now, popping off the back of the handheld, we have an SD card slot right off the bat. We can see that. The handheld itself has internal memory, 16 GB for a fact. So if you want to expand on that, you can just add an SD card however you want. If I remember correctly, it goes up to 256 GB. Here we have the battery, which is a 300 milliampere battery, which is an average amount of battery life you will get out of it, most likely. Here we have a SIM 1 slot and a SIM 2 slot, and nothing important is below the battery. Pop this back. Now what I'd like to check out is the screen quality. As you can see, it is a very vibrant IPS display with very good viewing angles. And yeah, nothing to complain about on that department. Right in front of you, you have the specs of this handheld. As you can see, it's a very powerful handheld, and yeah, there's also nothing to complain about in that department. Now I'm going to test out this handheld and play some games on it, and also test out the controls and how you can configure it in Android and stuff like that. And we'll be back with insight about the button feel and all that kind of stuff and how it runs. So now that I've played around with this handheld a little bit, I have a general idea about how this handheld is and can give you insight. A thing that is unfortunate is that this Android version is quite old. As you can see, it is Android Jelly Bean 4.2.2, and it will not be able to be upgraded to a later version. So most of the newer Android apps and games probably will not run on it, as you would expect. But you can run some emulators on it, as you can see. I do not have RetroArch installed, but I use these emulators that I bought on Google Play, and they work just fine. Some of them will not be able to recognize the control scheme that this handheld has, so you'll have to map those controls to the touchscreen, and then you can turn the opacity of the on-screen buttons down to the minimum. Now I can show you a sample of that right here. So you have this icon over here. Let me turn down the volume a little bit. So we have this icon over here where you can click on it and then click on custom settings. And you can set your buttons and slide it over to the on-screen touch buttons. Then when you're done with that, you click on the tick mark, and then everything will be working fine. You can map all the buttons except the start and select button. For some reason you'll not be able to map those. A sad thing about this handheld is that it does not have HDMI out, so you will not be able to hook it up onto a screen and then play it on a bigger screen. The only gripe that I also do have with this handheld is the fact that the D-pad is circular, and it feels a little bit uncomfortable, I would say. It's not the best experience when it comes to D-pads. I've seen a lot of better D-pads around there, but I hope that there will be a handheld out there that has the same kind of layout and has a regular D-pad and would work just as fine as this one. Now, my opinion on this handheld is that it's a very good handheld, even though the D-pad isn't that great and it has no HDMI out. You have a touch screen, you have a keyboard, you can just type on and then go to your Google Drive to download your ROMs or whatever, and you can just connect it to Wi-Fi, of course. You have an SD card slot, and it has even cameras and a flash. It can even do phone calls. It has full-fledged Android on it. So for retro game emulation, it is a very good handheld. If you're looking to play Android games on this handheld, then it's not the best handheld out there. You have the GPD XD, which has the latest versions of Android on it. I'll be reviewing that one as well in the near future. But that is it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.